Hello, it's Sunday. It is August the 4th, which is the Sunday before the first day of school, which is tomorrow. And to be honest, I'm actually surprised that I'm turning on the camera because I thought I wasn't going to do that today or this weekend, because I kind of just wanted to have a quiet mind during the weekend, but I felt the energy to do it, so I picked it up. But this is going to be pretty short. Like, it's going to be a very short, to the point video. I wouldn't even call it a vlog because most of it's going to be sit down that I'll do a little bit later. So what I wanted to do is, when I was ending my summer break last week and I was getting ready to go into my first contract day, which was this past Wednesday, I really was like, okay, instead of just being sad that summer's over or like letting anxiety creep in, let's just sit down and reflect on the summer and just see how you feel about it. And when I did that, I realized I am very thankful for the summer that I had, and I felt like I had a very successful summer, and that made going back to work a little bit easier, because I think it just made me have gratitude instead of anxiety. So then I thought, well, what made it productive? And then I decided I should share that with you guys, especially those of you that are still like in your maybe last month of summer, or you just have a little bit of time, and just in general, like things that I think that I did that made me feel successful during summer and rested and all of that. So that'll be a sit-down portion downstairs. But before I do that, I wanted to show you a couple things that I purchased since last we spoke. Luna, does anybody else have a dog where you buy them all the toys in the world and they want to chew on everything but what is a toy? So currently she's chewing on her bed blanket. Luna Sky. She hears me. So that's the plan. Just very briefly, my 3 days back, my first 3 contracted days back, were also productive. I decided, because normally I think I vlog during that time, or I'm somewhat active on social media. I decided that I didn't want to do that this time around. I wanted to focus on trying to get the things done that I needed to get done to feel prepared for the first day. And a lot of times when I'm vlogging and doing that at the same time, it just slows me down. So I chose not to, but I feel like those 3 days were productive. My classroom is ready for tomorrow. I left on Friday knowing that I wasn't going to need to come in over the weekend, which was the goal, which is great. I'm planned for the first day tomorrow. I'll probably look at a couple things tonight just to tweak it. And the things that are on my to-do list for those 3 days got accomplished. So I did that. I also got my nails done yesterday. Let's see if this will focus. So this is the new manicure, and today I just got back from getting a pedicure, which is this color. There you go. So my goal was over the weekend to just kind of take things easy and just ease into it. But these are the things that I purchased since last we spoke. This first thing I've been looking at for a while because it keeps popping up on Instagram, and then I wasn't going to do it, but I just at the last minute decided to do it because there was a 20% off coupon, and I was feeling impulsive, so I bought it. So I bought this nori press right here. It looks like it's a hair flat iron, but it's actually an iron / steamer. It's on the pricey side for an iron / steamer. At least for me, I've never spent that amount of money on an iron, and I don't have a steamer. It was $120, but I had a 20% off coupon, so by the time that coupon was added and shipping and handling happened, I think it was about $100. I wasn't going to get it, but then what pushed me over was a couple of things. One, I thought it was just a steamer, and then after watching some videos and doing a little bit of research, realized no, it is actually a handheld iron. So you can iron jeans, you can iron different fabric materials, so it functions like an iron. So I felt like I was getting 2 things in one. And 2, I just hate taking out the ironing board. And this makes it so that you don't have to take out the ironing board. So I tried it out today. I just opened it, like it came a few days ago. I just opened it this morning, tried it out on the dress that I'm going to be wearing tomorrow. So this is what I am going to wear for the first day of school, which I think I already told you guys when I got this. it's the back, but it's just this Old Navy dress that I got over the summer with this denim vest because there's spaghetti straps, and so I just used the nori on my dress today, and it seemed like it worked really well. I did it with the dress hanging up, and what they recommend you do is lay your clothes flat, and I couldn't because I'm in the middle of changing the sheets on my bed, and for some reason I felt like I just couldn't do it on the bed. Well, all this stuff was on it, so we'll see. I've only used it once. So far I'm kind of like, okay, like, you know, I'm not like, wow, go out and get it right now, but I've only used it once and I didn't necessarily use it the way that they suggest. So I got that, and I picked up a couple more clothing items at, I almost said Nordstrom, but not Nordstrom, Old Navy, because they were having a great sale. And again, I was feeling impulsive, and it's summer and I get, you know, distracted by shopping opportunities. So I bought another bomber jacket. I think I showed you one earlier that's blue and white. This one is a camel color. I just like the way these fit. They're casual, and I just think it's a good alternative where it's colder outside by my standards, because you know I live in Southern California. So it's too cold for a cardigan, but not cold enough for a full-blown coat. So I felt like that was a good alternative in that color. They also had this black jean jacket on sale, and I'm pretty sure I got this for $12 or something, so I couldn't pass that up. Black denim jacket, and this white dress. It's a long dress. I think I end up paying $10 for this, and it would go with the black jean jacket and these black and white tennis shoes that I have that I really like. So I had an outfit vision, so I bought it. So yeah, that's what I've purchased. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to eat because I haven't had a meal today. And then once I have eaten and kind of relaxed a little bit more, I'll sit down and talk about why I think this summer was successful for me and what I'm thankful for. But as far as tomorrow's concerned, my outfits picked out, what you saw. I have my accessories picked out here, so they're sitting in this little tray. And yeah. So yeah, let me go downstairs, get some food in my stomach, and then I'll check in with you guys and talk to you about my keys to success for me this summer. Okay, so I have eaten. I've relaxed a little bit. It's probably about 3:15 or so. And I'm here to share like why I feel like I was so successful this summer. So before I get into that, I will say, and I may have mentioned it like earlier in the summer when I was vlogging, like as I was ending the school year and going into the summer, I was pretty nervous about how the summer was going to play out, because I was supposed to do some international travel this summer with Teach with Love. I was going to go to Egypt and host that trip, but that was canceled earlier in the year just out of precautions, because that region of the world is not the most stable place. So that got canceled. I wasn't teaching summer school. There was no huge like work project that I wanted to work on. I didn't have any kind of plan set in stone. So as I was going into the summer, I was really concerned by the fact that I was going to have really 2 months of unstructured time where there were no plans, where there was nothing I was going to be doing. Really, because those kinds of things distract me. So if I was planning for travel, I would have been distracted by the things I felt like I needed to do to prepare for travel. If I had this big overarching work thing that I wanted to do or revamp, I would be distracted by that. And so to have none of that meant, to me, the worry was, well, you're just going to be sitting relatively idle with you and your thoughts, which can be a dangerous thing for me. Because when you have too much time to think, you start inventing things and start inventing problems or creating problems that don't truly exist. And so I was worried. And that really is, I think, one of the underlying reasons that I ended up getting a puppy. So, and we'll talk about her later. So I was really worried. So to come out of the summer and realize that what I was afraid was going to happen, where I really thought I would spend a lot of time just like sad and depressed and crying because I would have gotten myself in such a mental state. So to have ended the summer and that didn't happen at all, and actually the opposite happened, was very rewarding. And so when I was thinking about how can I sum up why I thought this summer was so productive, like when people have asked me how has your summer been when I return to work, I keep telling people it has been the most unproductive productive summer, and that is the best way that I can put it. Unproductive in the sense that I had no plan, I didn't do anything like huge work related, I didn't travel, there was nothing concrete that I did. I just woke up every day and kind of went where the day took me. And if I were to put into a nutshell as to how that happened, I think what it is this summer I really centered myself. Like, I centered myself. My whole life and every day and what I was doing was all centered around me and what I wanted and what I needed and what I felt like doing. And I don't know that I started the summer that way, but I think that there was this turning point when I had a therapy session this summer, and she had asked me, what are things that you do just for you? That have nothing to do with teaching, that have nothing to do with your work life, like you just do it because it's something that you want to do or it's something that makes you feel good. And when I realized I didn't have an answer to that question, that was very eye-opening. And so the task she had given me was to, now go home and figure something out, figure out something that you can do that's just for you. And I think from that point on, I really just indulged in the idea of like, I'm going to do things not because I should, not because I need to, not because it's expected, but I'm going to focus on doing things that I want to do just because I want to, and it makes me feel good, or it brings some sense of joy to me. And so it was a lot of trivial things, and then there were a lot of significant things. So I'm going to try and just go down the list of the things that I think really contributed to me feeling like I had a successful summer. Since I already mentioned her, I'll say one was I added a new family member. Where is she? There she is. She is napping. I'm not going to say her name because I don't want to wake her up. It's her nap time and she's being very peaceful right now. But I added her to the family, which is a lot of work. But, puppies bring a certain amount of joy and a certain amount of purpose to each day. It's something that I did really initially for Wolfie, because I always knew that he needed kind of like a playmate, because he likes to play all the time, and I couldn't really do that for him. And then when I go to work, it's nice to know that he'll have like a little bit of company. But also, like I said, I believe I also ended up getting this puppy because it was going to be a distraction, which it kind of was, but it was a fun, cute, entertaining distraction. So I did that. My home office no longer exists. So I know I mentioned that previously. I have, if you're new here or you don't know the makeup of this condo, I have 3 bedrooms, and one of those bedrooms since I've been here has been used as a home office. And in the first several years that I was here, I used that home office quite regularly. I would go upstairs, I would grade in there, I had a TV in there, like I spent some time in there. And then especially when COVID came and we were teaching from home, I definitely was in that office for hours at a time, and I was super thankful for that office, that I had a designated space and that I wasn't having to figure out where I was going to teach from and all of that. And then since we returned back to the classroom full time, I bought a laptop. And ever since I got that laptop, and it's been a couple years since I've had one now, I rarely, if ever, go into that office and sit at that desk and turned on that computer and worked from there. And I just couldn't even bring myself to do it. So every time I would go in there for the past couple years, it was just because that office also had my Peloton bike in there, as well as eventually the treadmill, and that's all I was going in that room for. And so this summer I was like, just looking at that desktop computer, thinking like, I don't even know the last time I turned this on. I don't use it. And that led me to think like, do you even use this office? And then that led me to think, do you even want a home office? Like, what does having a home office really say? Is that a reflection of you having and focusing on having a proper work-life balance? It would be one thing if I had a home office because I was running a business out of my home, but I'm not. I'm a teacher. I have a classroom where I do all of my work, where most of my work should be done. And so I got to the point where I'm like, no, I don't want a home office, because I don't want to come home and see anything that even suggests that I should be coming home and working after I've left work. And so I removed the home office. I gave the computer away to some college students who needed it. Excuse me. And I took the desk out. The desk is currently in my garage. I mean, I love the desk. It was very cute. I don't know what's going to happen with that desk. I don't know if someone's going to buy it or whatever. But needless to say, the desk and the computer came out. And then I rearranged the office so that it was just more aesthetically pleasing in terms of where the Peloton bike was and the treadmill. And now that room has just turned itself, or I've turned that into a workout room. And I am very happy with that decision. I have no regrets. It was a little jarring at first to be like, you know, what if you remove this office and then suddenly you decide that you want one? But I don't think that I'll get to that place. And I like the fact that it forces me to be more mindful of using my actual workspace in the classroom to work, and minimizing how much work I bring home. So that was something that I did that I feel like contributed to me feeling productive. Continuing to go to therapy obviously is a part of that. And I think just one day realizing or thinking to myself, like, what are some things that you can do to promote peace? And me going through the whole process of realizing, like, me praying has been very hit or miss, but also realizing that when I pray, or when I am actively trying to connect with God on a consistent and regular basis, there is a certain level of peace that I experience. And then I realize the same level of discipline and scheduling that I do to make sure I get a workout in is the same level of discipline and scheduling I need to do when it comes to finding time to pray or talk to God or connect to God. And so I decided, as of right now, what works for me is walking the dogs, which has helped. That's always helped, just me getting outside and getting fresh air. Walking the dogs, and that time being specifically used to pray. In the past, I would walk the dogs, and sometimes I was scrolling through TikTok. I might be watching a YouTube video. I might be listening to an audiobook. Sometimes I wasn't doing anything but walking the dogs. And I realized on those days when I would choose to just walk the dogs and not scroll through social media or listen to a podcast or a book, the walk was more relaxing. So I thought, let me just commit to always just walking the dogs, no scrolling on social media, no listening to books, no listening to podcasts, basically no multitasking in that way, and use that time to pray or talk to God, or however you want to frame it, because it's something that I know I do every day, because I make sure to walk the dogs every day because they need it, and I know it's at least a 30-minute block of time that will be uninterrupted. And so the rule is, if I'm walking and someone texts me or the phone rings, which it rarely does, I don't answer it. And just me actively, purposefully, intentionally talking to God every day has brought about a certain level of peace that I have needed, like mental peace. And that, in conjunction with therapy and really recognizing some of the things that I do and say to myself, the behaviors that I have, those two things in conjunction are getting me closer to this general state of peace that I feel like I've been lacking the past couple of years. So adding time that is carved out specifically for praying is something that I did over the summer that has contributed to me feeling like this has been a successful summer. The other thing that I did is I just allowed myself to just do what I felt like doing when the day came. Like, I never woke up with a plan. I never said I have to do X, Y, and Z for work. If I felt like doing some work, I would do it. If I didn't, I didn't. And most days I didn't feel like doing it. And I would have to talk myself through saying, like, you need to rest. You had a really rough year. It's okay. that you're not doing anything all day. So I think this is the first time during a summer break that I allowed myself to just be like, you might not do any work at all this year, and really force myself to do that, to just prove to myself that the world will not come to an end if you don't work during summer. So that is another thing that I did. I just didn't work if I didn't feel like working. I had no plans when I woke up, aside from I'm going to wake up and exercise. That's all I knew. Making sure to try and see my niece and spend time with her once a week was also a very rewarding experience. She now knows who I am, I think, concretely. She knows that she calls me Rah, but my name is Auntie Lala, but she knows who I am. So just once a week going to see her, like just doing whatever she wanted to do, watching Bluey, going outside, going to the park, was very relaxing and rewarding. And then the other things all kind of fall under just treating myself, under that category of what the therapist was talking about. So I started a skincare routine, which sounds trivial and doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but a skincare routine is me truly doing something for myself, just for myself. Like, I want to feel good about what I look like. I want to feel good about my skin. I want to feel good as I continue to get older. So I went, researched, found a skincare routine that I feel like will work for me. I've been doing it every day, like my morning routine and my nighttime routine, probably for at least a month. I personally, when I look at my skin, I feel like I see a difference. And that's all that matters. And when I do it in the morning and at night, it feels very indulgent. Like, it feels good to know that I'm doing something that is purely to take care of myself and my overall, like, physical well-being. So I started a skincare routine. I got my lashes done, which is surprising. That's another thing that the only reason I did it is because it makes me feel good. When I don't have makeup on, I still at least look somewhat more alert and awake with lashes, and it's something that's going to make my mornings easier when the school year starts, because it's one less thing that I need to do, which is a form of self-care. I'm investing in myself to create time for myself that I feel like I need and I deserve. So I got my lashes done. I got the Hatch alarm clock, which again is a purchase, but I want to wake up in the morning in a more gentle state. I want to do whatever I can, whatever resources out there and available to me, to ease myself into the day, to feel more peaceful when I wake up. And so far I've used it for about a week. I've woken up to it, all last week. And it does create a more peaceful wake-up experience. So I bought myself that. The Nori Press thing that I showed you, that's something that falls under that category. So basically, I feel like I allowed myself to indulge in something or purchase something, whether it be the alarm clock or skincare products or outfits or a new iron, if it was something that either I felt like was going to make me feel good about myself, or it was something that I felt like was going to make my life somewhat easier in one way or the other. I didn't overthink it. I didn't say, well, you shouldn't, or you should just suck it up and use your old iron, or, just use the alarm clock on your phone because it's free. Like, I just kind of let go of that part of my personality and said, hey, this is something you want, you think it's going to make you feel better, go ahead and do it. Bought myself some nicer pajamas for the summer, some matching sets, because during the school year I had started doing that, and wearing nicer pajamas just makes me feel better about myself. So I don't know if this is helpful to anyone, and those are things that I did that worked for me, but I think the gist of what I'm saying, that not just teachers, but maybe just teachers because I'm talking about the summer, but just if we take it out of the context of summer break and it being a successful summer break, just life in general, I think just getting to the point where I centered myself and felt very comfortable doing that. I didn't feel selfish or self-absorbed, or like I'm spending too much money on myself, or this is silly. I just did what I felt like I needed to do if it was going to make me feel good about myself one way or the other. And so by the time the end of summer came, I just felt like this is the first summer that I ended the summer and really thought to myself like, wow, I really took care of myself this summer. I really and truly needed a summer of rest and relaxation, and a summer where I allowed myself to recharge. And I definitely allowed myself to do that by not doing any work, by sleeping in if I wanted to, by taking naps when I felt like it, by just being as leisurely as I wanted. And I really took care of myself and allowed myself to do things, as frivolous as they may seem to others, that truly made me feel good. I really feel like I took care of Latanya this summer, both mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. And so one of the things that I continue to pray about when I do my walk and talks with the dogs, that's what I call them now, my walk and talks, because I'm talking to Jesus or God, is part of my prayer is that I just maintain the discipline that is necessary for me to truly have a better work-life balance. That I am disciplined enough to realize there comes a point where you just have to stop working. Or I remind myself that the number of hours that I work in a day is not what's going to make me a good teacher. That it's just as important for me to rest and come home and recharge. That is just as important to what my teaching day is going to be like the next day as me being lesson planned or me having my grades caught up. So I don't know. Like, I don't know if any of that made sense or if it's helpful. Like, I was kind of going back and forth on having a video like this because it's just like kind of me vomiting the thoughts that I've had as summer wrapped up for me. But if I had to put it in a nutshell, like I said, this was the most unproductive, productive summer I've ever had. This is probably the most rested I feel at the end of a summer break. And mind you, this is about to be my 20th year teaching. And I think it's because I really just centered myself. I focused on me and what I wanted and what I needed and what I wanted to do. And I allowed myself to indulge in all of that. Whatever I wanted is what I got. Whatever I needed is what I gave myself. And I'm feeling optimistic that this will continue because I now feel the benefits of, centering yourself. And I am aware that I'm able to center myself in a way that others may not be able to because I don't have kids and I don't have a spouse or a partner, so it's very easy to do. But I would just suggest to anyone that maybe is living a different lifestyle than I am, where you do have kids or you do have a partner in life, that what are things that you can do, or how can you find ways to prioritize yourself and center yourself on a regular and consistent basis so that you don't feel worn out and beat down and just distraught. So that's really all I have to say. I don't know if it was helpful. Hopefully it was. And if it wasn't helpful, at least you got a little glimpse in how my summer went and how I'm feeling as I get ready for the first day of school tomorrow. Also, I think even me choosing not to vlog those first 3 contract days last week is also an example of me centering myself. Because best believe there was a little piece of me that felt bad. Like, some people kind of want to see how I start the school year in terms of contract days. But I have had to tell myself, they may want to see that, but I don't feel like I have the capacity to do that right now, and that's not the best choice for me at the moment. And so I'm proud of myself for even doing that. And with that being said, with YouTube in the upcoming school year, it's probably going to be much of the same. Like it has been the past few months. I won't be on a regular schedule like I used to. Like I used to upload religiously on Sundays because I felt like I had to, and if I didn't do that, then people would lose interest in watching anything that I put up. But that was me like locking myself into something that a lot of times caused me some levels of stress. So it's going to be very much like I will do what I can when I feel like I have the capacity to do it. So that may mean there are periods of time where I'm pretty regular, and there may be periods of time where I kind of disappear. And I also think that I'm going to transition from, I don't know, like it's not necessarily purposeful during the school year, but I feel like most of what I upload during the school year is very heavily centered on work. And then when summer comes, because I'm not working, it's a little bit of both. Like it's more me just as a person, and I may talk about some teaching things. And I feel like this upcoming year, it's going to veer more towards that. I'll definitely still talk about things I'm doing at school, because that is a part of my life, but I will feel the freedom to also talk about things that have nothing to do with school, and just kind of share where I'm at in life in general. So that's it. It's 3:38. I'm getting ready to look at my plans one more time for tomorrow, and I don't know, maybe think about we have back to school night on Wednesday, so I might look at that and try and just start getting ready for that. But my plan is to just kind of relax and kind of just take it easy for the rest of the day, get to bed on time, and be ready to welcome a new group of kids tomorrow that are going to need to be trained in the ways of Miss Robinson. So if you enjoyed this video, or you heard something that was helpful, or you feel encouraged to center yourself, prioritize yourself, please give this video a thumbs up. If you feel like you've done the same and you've focused on yourself and taken care of yourself this summer, be sure to leave a comment and let me know what you've done. If you are not subscribed, please make sure you do subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And as always, I hope that you guys are well. And if you're not well, please be well. If you're heading back to school tomorrow like I am, good luck. If you're still in your summer break, enjoy it. And I will be sure to see you guys in the next vlog. Until then, take care. Bye.